but this is old school hardcore story. You know the band Sick of It All?
Yeah.
So their vocalist Lou Koller recently announced that he had cancer.
Oh.
And I have another story too beside but we'll do this Sick of It All story first. But anyway, basically he came out and announced that he had cancer. And so a bunch of the like East Coast hardcore bands, like New York bands, came together and did a kind of like a benefit concert for him. And so this is interesting because they threw in, I'm sure Eric probably took a break, but they threw in something about Life of Agony. Like the guy from Life of Agony, we've talked about this, Dryden. He transitioned to Mina Caputo, and then he just recently transitioned back to Keith Caputo. Like that's him right there in the photo.
Okay.
So anyway,
I'll say I've heard the name before. I haven't really listened to the music all that much, but obviously I know Vision of Disorder, Municipal Waste. I know all those dudes.
Well, let me play. I think I have a clip on here of Life of Agony because I know I played it before. Maybe I don't still have it, but I'm pretty sure I had. Yeah. So here's this is a clip of Life of Agony, just for people who don't know. I always kind of dug them because they in the grunge era they were doing like heavier shit, but like they kind of had more of like the Stone Temple Pilots aesthetic too. So I don't know if you caught that, Eric, but basically
I did.
So this is Life of Agony. So anyway, let me read this real quick. Benefit concert supporting Sick of It All vocalist Lou Koller's ongoing battle with esophageal cancer was held last night. So he had esophageal cancer in Irving Plaza in New York City. And this is from a couple nights ago. It wasn't last night. The I'm in the Fight with Lou event featured performances by Vision of Disorder, Life of Agony, and Municipal Waste, as well as veteran New York hardcore acts Killing Time and Crown of Thorns. Notably, it marked Vision of Disorder's first live appearance since 2018. It was also Life of Agony's first show since the band's transgender singer Mina Caputo, once known as Keith Caputo, announced that she had cured her gender dysphoria and was planning to physically completely detransition in 2025 before changing her name back to Keith Caputo.
Interesting.
Cool. And that was Keith right there. So I have a couple clips from this, but let's just read the rest of the article first. After Lou went public in late June with the news that doctors discovered a cancerous tumor in his esophagus, his brother Pete, Sick of It All guitarist, set up a GoFundMe campaign to help cover some of the costs of his cancer treatment and assist with living expenses while the group is off the road and unable to tour because they ain't making shit on streaming. That campaign has since raised more than $300,000, with fellow artists AFI Rancid and Dropkick Murphys contributing $5,000 apiece, and bands such as Snapcase and Hot Water Music also making generous donations. The long-running New York hardcore band subsequently canceled its previously announced European tour dates. So this is actually Lou from Sick of It All, just kind of like giving
it up, and I really appreciate it. You know, I love you all, and it's funny because when I got into hardcore, it was such a, I had this ideal that it was, it's a big family, it's your chosen family, and then when you stay in it, you kind of get a little jaded down the line. But when the chips are down, you guys proved it, and we prove it all the time. When every time somebody who's not just hardcore, but in this underground music scene is in dire straits, everybody steps up, and it's been amazing. And like all the bands playing tonight, some of my favorite bands on the planet, and I wish I could be there to see this, but I know you're all gonna have a great show. The bands are amazing. Thanks to all the bands. Thank you to the venue. Thank you to Stormy, our booking agent.
So that's Lou Koller of Sick of It All. And just for those who don't know, I just want to do a quick little dive into who Sick of It All is, because they're a seminal. If you know me, I'm a big fan of East Coast hardcore, and Sick of It All is a seminal East Coast hardcore band.
Yeah, they are. I as a cancer conqueror, I admire that. I think it's.
I love that the genre says hardcore punk, tough guy hardcore.
Tough guy hardcore. Yeah,
That's awesome.
it's because they're like one of their most popular albums is called Built to Last. But
Yeah, I
me
think
read
Hatebreed's probably in there. There's a couple other brands on there.
But this is how legit Sick of It All is. American hardcore punk band formed in 1986
That's crazy.
in Queens, New York. The band's lineup
Oh,
consists
yeah.
of brothers Lou and Pete Koller on lead vocals and guitars, respectively, Armand Majidi on drums, and Craig Sitari on bass. Sick of It All is considered a major part of the New York hardcore scene, and by 2020, the band had sold at least 500,000 records worldwide. Through their 1989 debut album, Blood, Sweat, and No Tears was a moderate success, though their Sick of It All did not achieve commercial success until later albums. After the release of their second album, Just Look Around, in 92, East West Records saw the band's potential and signed them. In 1993, Sick of It All's third major label debut album, Scratch the Surface, was released in 1994 to critical acclaim and included the single Scratch the Surface and Step Down. They released one more album on East West, 1997's Built to Last, before signing with Fat Records, which is Fat Mike of No Effects label, in 1998, which released the band's next 3 studio albums. They signed to Abacus Records afterwards, a subsidiary of Century Media. The label released their 8th studio album, Death to Tyrants, in 2006. 2 positive reviews. Sick of It All's latest album, Wake the Sleeping Dragon, was released in 2018. So just want to show you a couple clips of some of the bands that played first Life of Agony with the newly detransitioned Keith Caputo
That's cool.
on vocals. Yeah. Hey, we love you no matter what, Keith.
Yeah.
Whether you're Keith or
metal.
Mina. They sound killer too. Listen to this.
Any black sheep in the family.
He was waiting for it to start right there.
Here, let me jump up a little bit. This is going long.
Yeah.
The song's
Is
called
it
Bad
all the
Secret.
original members?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe the drummer might be different. But Johnny Z, the guitarist, is like the pretty well-known guy in the New York scene.
They move well for their age.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look good. He doesn't look like he's aged much at all. All right, I got one more clip from this one, and then we can move on to the Children of the Grunge bit. Check this out. You'll appreciate this, Dryden. This is VOD. First live performance in a while, Element.
Hell yeah.
We won't watch all of it. Vision of Disorder.
Dude, before you play this really quick, I just want to say the singer, Tim, what's his name? Tim Williams follows me on Instagram. So Tim Williams, what up, bro?
Nice.
Shout out Tim Williams.
What
Yeah.
up, bro? We're homies.
Dude, VOD is underrated as fuck. I love their guitar work, and you can hear some of it in this clip, like some of the riffs that I think it's Mike Baumback.
Yeah, dude. Their riffing is amazing. That's definitely one of the, I mean, I was gonna say this too. I realized this the other day. I mean, it's pretty common, but his vocal style is so similar to Refused. Shade
Yeah.
of Punk.
Yeah.
That whole record for sure is like he's told. It almost sounds exactly like him, but he has his own little differences. But they do that like raspy kind of like. He's got like some melody in there, but it's a lot of like distorted kind of like gritty vocals.
Vocal fry.
Yeah.
He does. Tim Williams too. He kind of when I first heard VOD, I thought his clean vocals sounded like The Offspring. Like his clean vocals kind of reminded me a little bit of The Offspring. Sure. But he does a killer scream, like, and then on what's it called? Imprint, they have that song with Phil Anselmo guesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the River.
That's badass.
The crowd too, like it's just like knows every lyric. This riff right here. That does that little bring out.
Sounds great. Too.
Yeah, we don't have to watch the whole thing. That's
That's
definitely
badass.
fuck yeah. Vision of Disorder, Imprint, one of my favorite albums.
A lot of people. I was surprised. I mean, your guys' generation, a lot of people definitely know them, but for real, like not a lot of people really know about Vision of Disorder, and I think they've definitely had a big impact on a lot of guitar players, like low key, like just that like Tornado style, Candiria too, but they were more. I think Vision of Disorder had more of that like punky, like tornado-ish, like just out of control.
Candiria's guitar playing, a lot of it is very Helmet.
Yeah, and they do
it's very,
more of
like,
like they do that bungle stuff where they do like jazz parts and like, you know, I think Vision of Disorder is mostly like they stick to the heavy stuff.
It's more punk. It's more
Yeah.
like speed metal punk. It's metalcore, like the origins of metalcore. Really.
For sure.